the boy who never went to school, but knew more than graduates. In a quiet village where dust rose with every passing footstep, where children in neatly pressed uniforms walked in groups every morning, there lived a boy who never joined them. His name was Tunde. Every day, as the school bell echoed faintly across the fields, Tunde stood at the doorway of his father's small, rusty workshop, watching the other children laugh, watching them carry books, watching the life he never had. But behind him was a different kind of classroom. Tunde's father, Baba Sola, was a local mechanic. Not the kind with fancy tools or a big garage, just a small wooden shed, a few worn-out spanners, and hands hardened by years of struggle. He was a good man, a proud man. But life had not been kind. Since Tunde's mother passed away when he was just 5, everything had become heavier. Money was scarce, food was uncertain, and school became a dream too expensive to afford. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky orange, Tunde finally asked the question he had been holding inside. "Papa, why don't I go to school like the others?" Baba Sola froze. The spanner in his hand slipped slightly. For a moment, he said nothing. Then quietly, without looking at his son, he replied, "My son, school is not the only place to learn." But even he knew that answer carried more pain than truth. From that day on, Baba Sola made a silent promise. If he couldn't send his son to school, then he would become the school. "Tunde, come here," he would say every morning. And lessons began. Not with chalkboards, but with engines. Not with notebooks, but with broken machines. This bolt must be tightened just enough. Too loose, it falls. Too tight, it breaks. Life is the same. Tunde listened, watched, learned. At first, he didn't understand much. But slowly, things began to make sense. Numbers became measurements. Science became movement. Logic became survival. While other children memorized theories in classrooms, Tunde saw them come alive in real life. But the village was not kind. Children laughed at him. "There goes the mechanic's boy. He doesn't even know how to read. He will end up just like his father." Even some adults whispered, "That man has failed his son." Each word hit like a stone. One day, after being mocked again, Tunde ran behind the workshop and cried. Not loud, not dramatic. Just quiet tears, falling into the dust. That evening, Baba Sola found him. Without asking questions, he sat beside him. After a long silence, he said, "My son, the world may not see what you are becoming, but one day, they will feel it." Tunde wiped his tears and nodded. Years passed. The small boy who once watched from the doorway became the one holding the tools. At just 14, Tunde could dismantle an engine, fix a broken generator, and rebuild parts others would throw away. People started noticing. This boy is good, some customers would say. But still, there was always that sentence. If only he had gone to school. Even Tunde sometimes wondered, what am I missing? Am I truly behind? Then one day, something happened that would change everything. The village's main grinding machine broke down. It was important. Farmers depended on it to process their crops. Without it, food production slowed. Families struggled. A mechanic from the city was called. He came with confidence, tools, and certificates. He worked on it for hours. Nothing. Another technician tried. Still nothing. The machine refused to come back to life. The village grew frustrated. What are we going to do? This machine feeds us. Tunde stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, watching, observing, listening to the sound of the broken machine. His eyes narrowed. He stepped forward slightly, then stopped. Fear held him back. What if I fail? What if they laugh? Then he remembered his father's voice. The world may not see what you are becoming. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. Sir, can I try? The crowd burst into laughter. You, what do you know? Go back to your father's workshop. Even the city mechanic smirked. But Baba Sola, standing behind, said just one word. Try. Silence fell. Tunde approached the machine. He didn't rush. He didn't panic. He listened, touched, observed. Then he began. One bolt at a time. One adjustment at a time. Minutes passed. The crowd watched. Some curious. Some amused. Then suddenly, the machine coughed. Once. Twice. And then, it roared back to life. The entire village froze. Then, gasps. Shouts. Disbelief. It's working. How did he do it? This boy. Even the city mechanic stood speechless. At that moment, a visiting official who had come to inspect the situation stepped forward. He looked at Tunde carefully. Who taught you this? Tunde turned and pointed at his father. My father is my school. Silence. Then applause. Real. Deep. Earned. For the first time, the same people who once mocked him now looked at him with respect. Later that night, back at the workshop, Tunde sat beside his father. Papa, do you think I'm truly educated? Baba Sola smiled softly. My son, education is not just what you read. It is what you understand, what you can do, and how you use it to help others. Tunde nodded. But this time, there were no tears. Only pride. News of Tunde spread beyond the village. Weeks later, an opportunity came. A scholarship. Not because he followed the traditional path, but because he proved his worth in a different way. And as he prepared to leave for formal education, he looked back at the small, rusty workshop, the place where it all began. Some classrooms have walls. Others have none. Some teachers use books. Others use life. Tunde never wore a school uniform. But he wore something greater. Understanding. Because sometimes, the greatest education is not found in theory, but in experience.